We gotta talk about Lute. Everyone online was talking about what was going to happen with her this season. Gravity was one of the first officially released songs for this season as a teaser, and if you are an online lurker like me, you may also know parts of this scene and song were leaked in the massive Season 2 leak fiasco. Gravity has become massive. It completely blew streams for all other songs out of the water. It's currently sitting at over 43 million streams on Spotify alone at the time of writing this video. It hasn't quite reached loser baby fame yet, but I think it at least feels pretty close. It is now after the release of the last two episodes of Season 2 and this emotionally intense song that promised violence against our favorite characters, and Lute did not get her way, which I think has a lot of viewers very surprised, and I've even seen some disappointed in this outcome, saying that the power of the song is now wasted. Personally, I think that is simply not the case. So let's talk about it. I ask you to put yourself in the boots of Lute at the moment. Lute was created to be an exorcist angel by Adam himself. Adam is quite literally her creator, her boss, and of course the object of her affections. Now, exactly the extent of his role as a creator in her life is still a bit unclear. We as fans are still unsure if he literally creates them himself, or if he's just the creator of the concept of the exorcist angels for certain, as neither has been outright stated. But either way, what Adam gave her was her purpose, and that carries weight. Her name, which I can also only assume Adam gave her, since he also named Vaggie, also roughly translates to the liberator in Greek, and this can also allude to some of the expectations Adam might have put on Lute. So it's only natural for her to hold him in the same regard as a creator in some ways, even if his creation of her isn't literal. Lute admires him for the all-powerful archangel general that he is. He is the first man, one of the first human souls in heaven, the leader of the holy exorcist army that exterminate more demon scum every year. Her words, not mine. Adam was someone important, and now he is dead, and no one in heaven seems to give a shit. Not Emily, not Sarah, not the voice of God, not even his own son Abel seems to care. Adam was
slain by a filthy janitor.
And Lute is the only one that cares. She not only cares but wants vengeance, and this is what will cause Lute to fall from grace. But it will take time, as sin corrupts you slowly. If we bring stories of the Bible into this conversation, there's a lot that it has to say about the nature of revenge. It often talks about how humanity should withhold vengeance, as vengeance is something that belongs to God. Vengeance is God's and not the responsibility of humans, angels, or any other entity to enact. Deuteronomy 32:35 gives a quote from God that says, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay." This statement from God not only declares that he has the right to judge, but also possesses the wisdom to enact perfect justice. In one of the many stories of David, for example, David refuses to take personal vengeance and spares King Saul's life on multiple occasions, despite King Saul's many attempts to harm David out of fear and jealousy. David proclaims that the Lord judge between you and me. This is trust in God's final judgment and is a common sentiment taught throughout the Bible. In fact, let's go back to the song Gravity and take a little closer look at that eye for an eye quote. That term comes from a part of the ancient justice system said to be given to the Israelites by God through Moses. It comes from Exodus 21:23 through 25, and the full quote is, "If there is serious injury, you will take life for a life, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, hand for a hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, bruise for bruise." This principle, often misunderstood, served as a limitation on excess retaliation, rather than a call to seek personal vengeance, as not just Lute seems to decipher it, but as many throughout history has also deciphered it as well. So basically, an eye for an eye is actually widely misunderstood as a call for personal vengeance when this is just not the case. In its original ancient biblical context, this principle, called the Law of Retaliation, served to ensure proportional punishment, limit excessive retribution, and mandate monetary compensation for injustices against fellow humans according to many online sources. This law worked to establish a revolutionary concept at the time, that all people, including foreigners and native-born citizens, were equal under the law and that justice applied across social boundaries. Lute is actively looking to go above and beyond God's final absolute authority and justice to get her own personal revenge, but she is loyal to heaven. She is quite literally, as far as we could possibly know, made to be an obedient soldier. Enacting any bit of vengeance traditionally would be a big no-no, and that is so totally going to blow up in her face if anyone with any level of authority finds out and this caste system actually means anything in heaven, which it looks like it might after Abel's display of authority at the end of the season. Look at Lute's acting here. This is a woman in the middle of a complete and total psychological breakdown. Everything she knows is wrong, and everything that should be happening is not happening. There will be no retribution for Adam's death, and one of the demons that tried to kill her boss, her creator, the man she loved so much, has now been given salvation? It makes no sense, to her anyway. It goes against everything that should be happening according to her reality. It makes no sense, and it literally is making her psyche deteriorate. We've only scratched the surface of Lute's unbridled wrath. And wrath, it's a strong word. And what is wrath again? A deadly sin. Wrath, by definition, is an uncontrollable feeling of anger, rage, or hatred, and it goes beyond those feelings. It grows and expands and threatens to literally explode out of the self. The rage that Lute feels is 100% wrath. It is not just simple anger or rage, but it is explosive and vengeful wrath. And this is going to be the exact thing that makes her fall from grace if she chooses it. The way I see it, the call for retribution from the extermination has already happened. I strongly believe that some force, perhaps the voice of God even, took divine justice the moment that Serpentius was redeemed. I think the second that holy light hit him, that was the nail in the coffin for Adam. Adam's death, I believe, is divine justice powers at play. Adam was easily killed by Nifty due to the forces that be needing to even the score. Eye for an eye. The exterminator spent years killing only to learn that redemption is possible. So it's only fair that their leader, the creator of such a horrible thing, is exterminated himself. I don't think anything says divine retribution more than that, truly. But there's no way Lute will ever see it that way. I think no full follow-through on Lute's revenge this season has been a bit of a disappointment for most viewers. I think it's clear that Lute is being set up in the background to be a major antagonist against the hotel's initiatives. Viv has said in interviews that she viewed setting up Lute's anger was important to the story.
Lute too, but Lute also is I call her a sleeper villain. We set her up big and we know her goal, but she keeps being restricted and she keeps being put into a box. And I think that's the point. Like, she is a character that needs to simmer because she is like a ticking time bomb, right? So she's the villain that we established. She's a villain. She's got problems. Here's what her problems are. Here's how the world is not helping with those problems. And we're going to see what that results in.
While I love the scene of Abel taking control of the situation and forcing Lute to fall back, I think it would have been more compelling story-wise to see Lute get away with some of her mindless violence and leave the repercussions as an additional cliffhanger. I really think they are saving Lute's true wrath for Season 3. At least, I'm truly hoping so, as no follow-through on this incredible and intense I Want song would be a failure to the overall narrative, in my opinion. With the intense nature of Gravity, my friends and I were expecting Lute to sneak her way into hell on an assassin mission, cause the war outright herself or something. Instead, she's just been sitting in the background, and this has to be intentional, but only time will tell for sure. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to all my new viewers and subscribers and followers across TikTok and YouTube. I really appreciate it. Till next time, take care of yourselves.